You gotta love the FJ55. They're such a funky body style, often referred to as the Iron Pig, but to me they're kind of the Frank Lloyd Wright inspired version of the Land Cruisers. The one that you're seeing here is a truck that we've known since it belonged to the original owner about 12 years ago. I went through this truck and extensively restored it back in the era when we could get parts that there's no way we could ever manage to source today, such as extensive weather stripping and trim items. We started with an original paint FJ55 that had no body rust, which I don't think I can say I've done that more than twice in all the years we've been doing them. We've owned about 30 55s and restored about 40 of them. This truck, after that restoration, has seen, maybe 1,500 to 2,000 miles on the street. Otherwise, it spent all of its time in a climate-controlled garage. It belongs to a good friend and customer of ours who has an extensive collection of Land Cruisers that we've restored. The only reason he's selling it is he recently decided to focus his collection on only the FJ45 models. So this 55 is now orphaned, and really a great opportunity for someone who understands the costs that go into restoring a 55 properly, or perhaps even more importantly, the fact that the reduction in availability of parts in recent years really reduces how nice of a job you can do at the end. But this truck, for example, these were new, both the housings and the lights. The tail light assemblies were new. All the weather stripping throughout the body was new. Even the wing window weather strippings, the door felts, the lock cylinder tabs, the dash pad, the rear view mirrors, the side vents, the front turn signals, and the majority of these components are no longer available. Although the fit and finish is still quite nice, there are a couple surface scratches here and there on the body, but none of them are significant enough to want to address, in my opinion. The truck's in beautiful shape. I think the most noticeable area, see if we can pick it up in the light, there's a couple small dings on the hood from it being closed improperly by someone over the years, as well as the inner structure that supports the hood on this side has become delaminated from the main hood shell, so that's resulted in this crack along that beam. There's no body filler or previous repairs here, as this would normally indicate. It's merely the fact that that brace became disconnected. But again, I don't know if it's worth refinishing now. That's up to your standards, and certainly we could help address that if needed. But really the key point and value of this truck is it was a stellar Virgin when we started, and it was done properly using all OEM parts. Let's go around now. I'll take you to the inside. There's 72,000 original miles on this truck. It has never turned. The front dash is entirely stock, including the original steering wheel, the blue center. The dash pad has been replaced. The rest of the dash panels are original. The stereo was an upgrade done back probably in the late 80s. It's a Blaupunk unit, works just fine. It's CD, or probably the 90s. The truck is equipped with factory air conditioning, which is probably more novel and interesting than it is a highly efficient cooling system. It works neat. It's very, very rare on the FJ55. You almost never see them. And it has a supplement component that integrates it with the stock heater. All these plenums and such under the dash, that's all original and correct to the truck. Door panels were restored when the interior was redone. Speakers with remotes have been added. These door panels were not done with marine rated board, unfortunately. It's before I learned that trick. So there's a little bit of waviness to them, but again, it's probably suffices just fine as it is. The seating upholstery is all excellent. We made every effort to mimic the original pattern. The color is a little bit lighter than stock for comfort. And there's the sort of honeycomb weave like the early Volkswagens had, which is also correct for the 55s. The headliner was restored in the stock style, no modifications. Original dome lights, happy and functioning. Original visors have been restored, as well as the grab handles. Power window works as well as it ever did, which means most of the time. Sometimes they can be a little bit of a hassle, but they're charming if nothing else. Exterior details in the restoration include things such as these factory wheels, which were brand new factory disc brake aero wheels that were stripped and refinished. They were powder coated in the original trim. Those were matched in powder with the front and rear bumpers, which are original to the truck with the correct heads. The silver brake line is something that I tend to always do on the 55s. It's a hand-painted color brake line, and it goes front to back to ease the transition between the green and the white. Nice detail. Here we have the rear seat, which is also restored dead stock. If you're not familiar with the 55, the rear seat's kind of neat in that it will fold and tuck forward, giving you a large cargo capacity. Front and rear, the floor mats are OEM. There's a couple little scratches and holes, I believe. Hole being that one right there. But again, these are no longer available, and these are in quite nice shape. Mechanically, we've made a couple upgrades in a few systems, but for the most part, the concept for this vehicle was to leave it entirely stock. You'll see it has the original cooling fan, which is quite unique. Cooling system's all stock, as is the carburation, emission system, engine, transmission, transfer case, all of which were rebuilt. It's power brakes. This has disc brakes in the front and drum in the rear. Running a Group 27 interstate. You'll notice we have a battery tender for extended storage. Helps keep things charged up. The suspension system is not stock. It has springs that provide about 1 inch higher ride height than stock, with all Monroe and Old Man Emu shocks and subcomponents. It has greasable shackles with polyurethane bushings. We added power steering in the stock style that's running a Saginaw GM style pump to a Toyota box on a custom perch in the stock location, which you can barely see in there, but it really adds to the drivability of the truck. So if you get a chance, come by and visit us, test drive this truck, or we ship internationally, and most of our clients somehow tend to be out of state anyway, so give us a call with any requests you might have.